Hey, it's me, Art of Singularity, and welcome to my new video. In this video, I'm just gonna be drawing. I'm trying to get better, so I'll be using some references. You can already see some drawings I did already, and I'm gonna be doing more. So you can see the references on the left, and this drawing, I found this artist through Lost Soul or Soulcast in the Discord, and it's pretty good. He's pretty good. Or she. I actually don't know. I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna be trying to copy this reference. So let's see if I can get that going. I do know that I sometimes struggle with views from the back, so this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so let's assume the body is there. Bring the body in like that. We're gonna try and keep the head. Of course, I'm not copying the reference exactly, right? I'm just using it as a springboard, basically. Okay, so let's bring the body in here. Do that. This is the crotch, so we know that's where all the legs are gonna be. I'm gonna be bringing that leg in, kicking this leg out. Assuming the spine is here now, the butt is probably going to be here, more to the side. We're going to be bringing this down. This other leg is coming out. Let me see. I'm going to have, instead of this grabbing the bag pose, I could do like a hand on the hip type thing. Or I guess in this case it'll be more like the wrist on the hip, but whatever. And I'm gonna keep her hand out. So I'm gonna just bring her hand out like this. Something like that. And then if this is the shoulder right here, the shoulder and the arm is here, so I'm gonna try and it's like kind of like a triangle method that I use to like gauge where the hand is gonna be. I think I made this arm too long, so let me just bring it in slightly. Obviously, I'm not trying to be perfect, right? I think the moment I try to become perfect at do a perfect drawing, I start messing up, so I'm gonna try and keep it mostly just loose, you know. I'm not really worrying about messiness. Of course, I am like being mindful of how many overlapping lines I'm doing, of how the readability comes across, but I'm not like focusing too heavily on it. If the chest is here, I'm gonna assume the chest is gonna, yeah, so. Okay, I'm gonna assume it wraps around there. I want a certain amount of readability for where the hips start, because I really do need to mark the landmark, so like where the torso ends and the legs begin, and the legs are kind of connected to the butt, so but I guess that's not really important right now. I'm just gonna work with it. I'm gonna give her some sort of suit. It's kind of like a business suit. Working an office job. I can maybe roll up her sleeves slightly. So have the sleeve, I'll have it end right here. And so it'll probably end around here on this arm. I think it's a little cool. I'm gonna just add in a little bit of ruffles just to show that the fabric is crumpling because it's being like squeezed. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's a seam in the back, like in the middle of the like a pants or something. So it should just outline the curvature of the butt. I think that's how that works. I mean, we can see kind of the same thing happening there in the actual drawing. Something like that. I'm gonna add the pockets, although the pockets may not be visible depending on if I color the pants. Yeah, like shade it. I think I put her leg out too much, right? I think this looks a little bit unnatural. So let me try and bring it in slightly. And bring this one in. So yes, her leg can be facing outwards, but it was looking a little bit awkward the way that it was. This is a good reference because I can actually see how the body is fold, or I can see how like the legs and clothes fold around the butt when it's like this. So this is a pretty good reference, honestly. Gazetteer. Don't really know how to say it, but really good, really solid artist. I looked at a lot of their art. Like I've just scrolled through their page or profile. This is on X or Twitter. So I do like the artist. Not exactly the style that I would like aim for, but just because an artist doesn't have a style you like, that doesn't mean you can't learn anything from them. And that's kind of what I was saying in, like, someone was asking me, well, what if the artist I don't know, like, what if the artist I like doesn't like show their process on how they draw? And it's like, you don't need to, like, you can just find an artist, and even if you don't like their style per se, or it's not like the style that you want to shoot for, you can still learn a lot from the artist, is basically what I was saying. I'm gonna have this character facing more like away, like, so instead of like having a side profile shot like in the actual reference, I'm gonna try and keep it less of a side profile. That, you know, if you can understand. I was gonna actually do it in a ponytail, so actually I'm going to keep the ponytail. There you go. You know, I'll do it in a slightly different manner, but keeping the ponytail. I'll have the ponytail be like held in by like a bow. That's, yeah, like a bow or something. So I think that's cool. Okay, there you go. I'm just gonna add a little bit of detailing to that. I'm gonna have all the hair start trying to lead towards the actual bun. Give her like a bang in the front, and I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Now, next character. Okay, that was 6 minutes. Wow, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Okay, let me do a different character. Okay, so I'm going to be using a reference from the artist named Dino or whatever. I don't actually know exactly how you say it. It's a very difficult reference, so I don't like expect me to get this reference. You can see it on the left. So it's kind of, yeah, very difficult reference. Obviously not going to be going for it exactly, but I'm going to be trying a little bit more to keep the reference like more similar to the actual original image, because I do want to see if I can, you know, it's good to try sometimes just to learn something. So I'm going to actually bring in the head first. Yeah, I'm going to do the head first. The head is kind of facing kind of this way. We're going to bring in the shoulder, or we're going to just mark where the shoulder's supposed to be. I realized I picked a very bad spot to put it. It's not, I didn't leave a lot of room for myself, actually. But yeah, my mistake, my bad. Okay, so let's see. So the butt's there, that's the butt, have it in there. The arm is going to be running over here and then coming down. The other arm, we can assume it's over here holding something, because we can see like an arm around here. So let's see. It's probably just gonna be leading, like a line leading here. So like if this is the arm, if this is the hand, then the arm is gonna be like something doing something like that, and then coming in. So there's some perspective happening here. Not that I really showed it that well. I probably did not do this perspective right, but hey, it's like that sometimes. You know, getting better at poses and stuff gets, like, you have to do it in repetition. Like, if you know you messed up and you want to try it again, and you really want to get down and see like what you did wrong and if you can improve, then doing a failed pose and then doing it again would help. I do think I'm actually messing up a lot, also because of the fact that I don't have a lot of space. It was my bad that I picked a terrible spot to do this pose in. You know, I picked a terrible place to do this pose, which is my bad. So let me see. So the chest, yeah, the chest is here. The chest probably won't be able to be seen. I mean, you can't really see the chest here, but that might just also be because of the hold on, let me see if I can do that. That might be because of the fact that the clothes are just flowy, you know. Okay, so let's bring the actual middle of the back here. So the middle of the back is here. So the butt should be there. The top of the torso is here, and it'll be coming in there. That's where the spine is, so shoulder blade somewhere around there. This arm needs to be moved in here, because if you can, now looking at it, the spine is probably supposed to be here. I mean, not the spine, the shoulder's here, so it'll be something like this. Something like this. Very messy, by the way, as you can see. But like I said, I wasn't actually aiming for a perfect drawing. She's holding something, but I mean, like some sort of sword or something? A keyblade, or I don't really know what that is. Okay, let me actually refine her face so you can actually see that it's supposed to be a face happening here. Let's see, how do we bring in the face? You know, you gotta trust the process, okay? Even if I do mess up, you know, you gotta just gotta go with it. Oh, crap, I messed up with that. Okay. This arm is very long, especially if it's being foreshortened down to the ground, and this is supposed to be coming in. This leg is probably the most important leg. It really grounds the character. So let me see if I can actually kind of get it right. The leg is supposed to be coming in here from here, so it's gonna be wrapping around here. The underside is wrapping here from the middle, so we're assuming that if this is the butt is going to come under here, the crotch is somewhere in here, we're going to be bringing the leg around, and that's why it's here, right? That's what I'm imagining, at least. Trying to x-ray through the drawing. Knees here, that's sort of joint, we're popping out the calf to be here, and then we're coming in, and then how Dino did it looks like it just kind of goes like that. Something like this, right? It's a really cool pose. Dino's way better at me. Obviously, you can see that. You can tell, but for her clothes, sorry about that. Something happened. But like I was saying, can't exactly see her. I didn't finish her head, so let me see if I can do that. If this is the middle, then we're gonna assume her nose is like somewhere here. If her nose is here, we're gonna bring in her eye. Okay, now you can kind of start to see her face. Because the face is so messy and I didn't really make it the clearest, I'm going to try to really make her features dark, if that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna go pretty dark on her. Actually, I'm gonna shade this side of the face. I messed up on the eye, that's why. Let me bring in her eyebrows. For this character, I think I should probably have her hair be short, because I don't want to, you know, get in the way of the arm. So I can see that I messed up on the arm, right? So let me just see. For this character, we can just do something like this. I'll bring in the ear. It's very difficult to make out the features for this drawing because of the way I dang, the English is not working for me because of the way that I, you know, made it messy. It's kind of hard to pick up part details and such. So that's what I was trying to say. Took me a solid 30 seconds to figure it out how to say that. All right, so short hair. For the clothes, I'll just go for, like, you know, kind of like this sort of outfit. So I'll try and go for something like that. To be fair, it's not very helpful when I'm doing, like, if I'm trying to figure out anatomy and stuff like I'm doing here, to put clothes on the character, but because this is YouTube, you know, like, normally when I'm doing it, I don't actually do that, but, you know, YouTube it, so I am gonna do it, even if it's not exactly the most helpful for when I want to look back and, like, figure out where I went wrong. So yeah, to mark the clothes, I'm just gonna make them, like, I'm just gonna shade them black, just so I can tell that it's clothes, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to tell if it's clothes or not, especially if it's not colored or anything, so colored or shaded, so yeah. I mean, for this specific pose, I don't think it really mattered if the character had clothes on. You can't really see anything, obviously, It's kind of a high angle shot. The chest is not very really in view. Yeah. So it wasn't really exactly necessary for me to do that, but I did it anyways. Just gonna add a slight amount of shading to her arm and such and stuff. That's what I meant to say. It's such a habit for me to say and such, so anytime I say and I'm trying to be like and stuff or and something, I just kind of autocorrect to and such. I don't even know where I got that from. Okay. Okay, there's that drawing done. Practically. So, for my last reference, I'm gonna do one more reference for this drawing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out. Something like that. Or, okay, you know what? Here, I will do a reference like this reference. I don't know this character. I mean, I don't know the name of this this artist. Obviously, I can't read Japanese or kanji, but I mean, you can look at it and see. If I did put it there, I don't know if this, like, I haven't checked this artist's page, so I don't know what their actual page looks like. So, you know, if their page isn't okay for me to show, then I'm not going to show the reference. So this is pretty this character is standing basically straight up. Their spine doesn't really have as much curvature. I'm going to try to add some sort of, I'm going to try and exaggerate the pose slightly. Or maybe not, right? I'm speaking of what I want to do, but of course, I don't know if I'm gonna succeed. So we can probably just assume that the line is something like that, right? I didn't exaggerate it too much. Let's assume that the back is like here. I'm gonna bring that in like that. We're bringing that out, bringing that in. Again, I didn't really give myself that much room, but I kind of like when drawings are compact. So of course I'm not creating an environment that's conducive for me to for a lot of practice. I'm not giving my drawings a lot of space, but I do like how it looks. So, I always try and balance my studies with what I actually like to do. And this is not really exactly a study. I'm just kind of taking the reference, trying to get better at constructing bodies in general, right? So I assume the belly button's there. This is where the ribs are, I assume. The shoulder's here. We're just gonna bring this out. The arm is here. I'm gonna have her put her hand on her hips. So something like this. If her hands on her hips and her shoulders somewhere around here, then her elbow is there. Connect those two. We go in like that. We pop this out with her chest. So we're gonna just give her a chest. Further reference, because this reference and character has a small chest, and I'm filling in these references mostly with OCs. Actually, this one is an OC, you can't really see anything. This one's OC, you can't see her face, so this is really the only one that I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna turn this one into I'm gonna just fill in the character, the blank slate with OC, but I do have to find an OC with the same kind of body type, so, it's something like that. That's kind of how I approach things like that. Let me give her, so she kind of has these bored eyes. I'm gonna keep them. I do like those types of eyes. I like those types of characters. Of course, I do like complex characters where they have a range of emotions, but I do like these types of eyes. I just like the aesthetic. No matter how boring it might be to some people. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of make her eyebrows come up a little bit. I made her eye really dark. Wasn't really my intention, but hey. So bring in her neck now. So her neck is kind of here, the middle of her body's here, so her collarbone is gonna be somewhere in here. I assume. Gonna be bringing this in. Okay, I'm gonna try and define her shoulder as a shape. Probably my next video is going to be me trying to do cleaner lines again. I did a video like that, but I'm I'm kind of losing myself in the messiness, as you can see. Not that I actually really have too much of a problem with it, but I do want to have some amount of readability. This character has a dress. I'm gonna put this one in just for the sake of anatomy. I'm gonna do like some sort of unitard. I think that's what it's called, right? I think unitards are pretty useful to mark like where the torso is and where the legs begin. I do find that to be the case, because like this line right there, like this line right here, usually it's useful to mark that, just so even though it's kind of not exactly how it anatomically works, it is useful for your brain just to like categorize the body into these different shapes, these different easy to understand shapes. Okay, so for this character, I'm gonna bring in her. Actually, I need to make her chest a little bit larger, something like that. I'm gonna bring in the wherever this thing is starting. I have no idea what I'm saying. Hold on. I'm gonna actually give her one bang. I'm gonna give her a different hairstyle that she normally has. Not like you guys know this character or see or anything, but not truly. And then I could give her a ponytail, or I can give her twin tails. I'll give her twin tails. Okay, so I'll have the other one be here. She is supposed to have longer hair, to be honest. I kind of made the tails too. I made the twin tails too short, or pigtails. What's the difference between twin tails and pigtails? Is it just same thing but different sounding? Because twin tails sounds more elegant. You know, from this high angle shot and the way that I drew it, she kind of looks a little bit too cute than what I wanted her to look like. But hey, whatever. Okay, bring this down. Okay, I think this kind of works. I'm just gonna start to. So yeah, this is basically the last thing. I don't think there's anything else really for me to do. I'm just gonna start to shade, and that's about it. Shading is probably Shading is probably sorry again for that cut. Shading is probably my favorite thing to do. Like, I just like how it looks. It's kind of like rendering in painting, like when you're when you're doing like an illustration on digital art or something like that, or even just on traditional. I just like seeing the drawing come together. It kind of masks all of the confusing lines, especially when you're shading. You can kind of define what's supposed to be there and what's not, right? So that's what I like about the shading. The shading. Like, how much shading do you guys like to do in your drawings, or if you even do any at all? As you can see by like some of my drawings down here, I do like to shade. It really helps to make the drawing stand out, especially from the mistakes that you've made in the drawing itself, right? So I really like shading. It's really fun to me. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's pretty good. Kind of. I think, no, you know what? I think that's fine. I think I could have done better on the leg shading. Perhaps we can just, perhaps she has like leggings or something. Yeah, maybe she has leggings. And then maybe leggings has like some sort of, not like contouring design happening. I don't know. How do we even mark that as a, okay, so like that. Kind of like fishnets, I suppose. Although it's not really supposed to be fishnets. I wasn't really going for that, but I suppose that's what it looks like, right? Kind of what it looks like. Okay, let me shade the folds for the chest. And we're gonna shade under the neck, under the head area, collarbone area. I still have to go back and shade the first drawing too, so that'll be interesting. Okay, there we go. So that works. I'm just gonna Shade under the eyebrows. I do like to give some shading under the eyebrows. I think that looks pretty cool. Give some more form to the face. I might not be doing it properly though. I haven't exactly studied it 100% to know what the proper way to do it is, to do the shading, but from what I have seen, I think it's something like that. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Something like that. That's in. Okay, cool. Maybe I just shade her hair slightly, give her hair some more detailing. Like a slight amount of detailing. Her hair isn't black, but it's not white either, right? It's not like a blonde. Maybe I can probably show the character. Well, probably not. I don't know if anyone's even gonna make it to the end of the video, but I mean, so I'm probably not gonna. I was gonna like show the actual character in editing, but maybe not, right? Is anyone even here? I mean, if you're hearing that, then you're here, but I wonder how many people are hearing that to be here, right? Okay, yeah, so I'm going back to this original drawing to just shade it and see if I could make it more defined, because I didn't actually finish it. Never actually finished it. I kind of just moved on to the other one. I didn't want to put too much. Didn't want to put too much what's it called? Too much effort into it, and then it's like, well, it just took too long, right? I don't want to make this character take so long. Okay, there we go. Something like that. Okay, let me bring that in. If her hand is like that, I think her thumb should actually be hair, right? Because this is actually the side of the body that the thumb is on. It should, because like it's kind of like yeah, the thumb is supposed to be on this side. Okay, cool. Sometimes you got to use your own hand just to figure out if something makes sense, right? I feel like basically every artist who's drawing a hand or something like that would do that. So yeah. Oh, was this character even in frame for most of the drawing? I hope so. I hope I paid attention. If not, that's kind of a tragedy, but hey, I guess it's like that, right? That's just how it is. I mean, I might end up just cutting the character in the first place. So, yeah. Depending on whether or not the other character was in shot, that I'll cut it out or something, right? It'll at least help the video length, right? If anything, it'll just help the video length. If I have to cut a character, I'm just having fun drawing, right? So it doesn't actually matter if I get everything on video. It doesn't really matter that much to me. Okay, and then for the actual shading, because this was just the base shading for it, but I didn't actually draw any shadows on it, if that makes any sense, right? I didn't add any shadows to this, so let me just start to actually give this form. Even though it technically already had some amount of form, but just more form. So something like that. Let's bring this down. It's kind of like the chest. Like, I kind of shade the butt, kind of how you would shade the chest. Of course, there's more nuance to it, right? They're not exactly the same shape and form, but the general shape, right? Because like it's like sphere. It's spherical. So something like that. Gonna get a shade more of here. Let me just bring that in, add some more folding kind of happening. Bring that in. The pockets have kind of got lost in the shading. I usually try to add details after I add the just the base color or the base shading of a thing, but sometimes I forget, like I did today. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty well defined. Or it's mostly well defined. Okay. Just finish that up. I feel like I could have done the shadows here a little bit better. Definitely could have done this a little bit better. But hey, that's what mistakes are for, right? All right, so we have this drawing, we have this drawing, and then we have this drawing. So I don't know if this one actually got into the video, but like of me doing it, but hey. So, 3 more characters to add to this page of, you know. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I guess that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video, or the stream earlier today. I did so right now when I'm recording this, it is about 12 a.m. It's 12 a.m. in the morning, so, well, in the afternoon, I say, it's 12 in the afternoon, so, I suppose I will see you guys in the stream, because I'm posting this video tonight, so the stream would have been before this, and the video would be after, but technically right now, it's kind of like a time travel thing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.